So STOVER Golf Club is based in the southwest of England, not far from Torquay, in a place called Newton Abbot. This is part 2 of the STOVER vlog. Remember to watch part 1, link is in the description. So the 10th hole is 325 yard and it's a par 4. And this is the view from the tee. We've got a water and a little stream down the right hand side, trees down the left, the whole dogleg slight to the right, just right at that bunker you can see on the corner. I'm hitting a 4-iron up here just to leave myself sort of a wedge into the green, hit it into this bigger section as well. I've seen people hit driver and cut it around the corner, but I just feel that 4-iron is the safest play. Hit a really good strike here, absolutely perfect, straight down the middle, and I couldn't place that in a better position. This is not an easy second shot. The pin is on the top level and you've got a stream that will gather any balls that miss to the right. So I'm going to try and hit this into the middle of the green and get the ball to hopefully bounce up towards the pin. You can't go long either. Hit a decent strike, but as soon as I've hit it, I know I've hit the wrong club. Probably should have gone at it with an easy wedge rather than trying to hit a hard 50, and it's into the middle of the green, leaving myself a difficult 2-putt. Realistically, just trying to 2-putt this. It's going to break from my left up that slope. It's important to get it up the slope, but once you get it up to the slope, it's reasonably quick because the ball will run towards that water that we mentioned earlier. A decent first putt, but sort of left myself 5 foot back. Not a length I'm particularly comfortable with, but again, just trying to put a decent stroke on here. Hit it at the hole with a little bit of pace. Hit a slight push here. It tried to break back at the hole and actually nearly hold it, but a disappointing 3-putt to start the back 9 with. For those of you that watch the front 9, you'll realise the back 9 is a lot tighter, and this is the tee shot on the long par 4. Water down the left hand side. I've hit 2 irons to get myself down the fairway a little bit further. Hit a really good strike here again, exactly where I was trying to hit it, down the left centre of the fairway, which should leave me sort of 100, 150 yards into the green. This is a really small green and quite an intimidating approach shot. You can't miss it right because there is hedges and trees, and short there's a bunker. I've gone with a pitching wedge. It's slightly into the wind. I've pushed it, and unfortunately the strike is pretty poor, and I'm not sure if it's in the bunker or whether it's just short. Unfortunately, it's short of the bunker. So anyone who knows me or knows a little about me, this is the part of the area I've struggled with, but I have seen some big improvements in the last sort of few months. However, here the swing was all wrong. I took the club too far back and the strike was horrendous, so now I find myself in the bunker. I've hit this a fraction fat, but it's landed on the downslope and actually turned out probably better than the shot deserved. So this putt now has got quite a bit of break from left to right, which I hadn't anticipated it breaking as much. It's took the slope now. We've missed it on the low side and it's run to, again, another awkward length putt back for a double bogey. So I'm faced with this putt for double bogey. I've hit a decent putt here. I've aimed it straight at the hole. Unfortunately, it was a right to left putt and it's just missed on the low side, which is a disappointing 7. Again, the 12th hole, quite a tight hole. There is water down the left-hand side off the tee, and down the right-hand side is all out of bounds. I've hit 4-iron, just trying to find the middle of the fairway to leave myself a decent iron shot into the green. Again, I've hit it exactly where I wanted to in position A. So the second shot here is quite a tricky one, and you actually want to hit it down the right-hand side off the tee if possible, because at the moment I'm having to hit this over the edge of the water. I've got 142 yards. I've chosen a 9-iron because it's slightly into the wind. It's playing in the same direction as the previous hole. The pin is at the back. You cannot miss left and you cannot miss short. I've really not made a good swing here. I've tried to take a little bit too much off it. Thankfully, I've carried the water, but only just, and it's come up short of the green. So I'm left with a chip shot here. I've taken a very low lofted club. I'm going to try and get it running up the green onto that back level. The pin is on the top tier, so it's important to get it on the right tier to give myself a chance of making a putt for par. Really pleased with this chip. The contact was really good. Had a chance of going in. It just touched the hole on the way through. Should leave myself a reasonable chance of making a par. So I'm going to hit this absolutely dead straight. These greens don't break as much as what Churston do. So just important to make a good stroke down the hill, and I'm pleased with that. It's a good par save as the round was starting to slip away. The 13th hole is a par 3. The green slopes from right to left, and there's a bunker up the right-hand side. It's important to hit the green here. 159 yards. I've hit a really good strike here. It's just to the right of the pin. Should get a nice little bounce down. It does, and I'm on that putting surface. So when you get on the putting surface, you are facing a tricky putt, and this one is tricky. It's up the hill, which is good, breaking from the left. But this green is quite scary, and if you get the wrong side of the pin at times, it makes getting a par very difficult. I've hit a good putt here. Now it's breaking back to the right-hand side. It's going to stay on the high side, which is good, and I should end up with a par, which I'm always pleased about on this hole. This is the 14th hole. It's a par 5, just over 500 yards. You hit your tee shot down there that you can see now. There's water on the right hand side, trees on the left, and it dog legs from left to right, and it's all uphill. I did think about putting driver out here and try and knock it on in 2, but as it was into the wind, I thought let's try and find the fairway with a 2-iron and play it as a free shotter. A little bit down the right hand side and a decent strike into the wind. So here I am now. I'm just trying to lay it up into that gap you can see between the trees. Got to keep it left. It's quite a narrow second shot. It's more difficult than I remember. I've pushed it to the right hand side. It's going to catch the trees. There is out of bounds over there as well, so at this moment I'm a little bit anxious, but I do actually now see it drop straight down. This is not ideal, as you can see. You can actually see the out of bounds post on the right hand side. I have got a small gap towards the green, so I'm just playing like a little 7-iron low. Caught it a little bit high on the face, and it's actually hit the tree, or just clipped the tree on the way through, but it's actually landed just short of the green because the line was decent. So this is a tricky little chip, all uphill, breaking from the right hand side. I'm taking a low lofted club again, trying to get the ball onto the surface as quickly as possible and run it in from the right hand side. Again, really pleased with the strike. Ball's running up. It's just going to run a little bit past the hole, which is not ideal. Ideally, you want to be below the hole, and that's going to leave me a trickier downhill putt. So I've read this putt as just outside right, hit a decent putt straight into the middle of the hole to save my par. So the 15th hole is a par 3. It's downhill. It plays the opposite way to the last par 5. There's some bunkers that are short, but anything short does run down. I'm trying to land this onto the green and let it trickle down to the hole, which is right at the back of the green. And I've hit this really fat. You can probably see the divot now flying. It lands short of the green, misses the bunkers, gets a hop forward and runs down past the green and past the pin. So here I am on the back fringe, putting back up the hill. It's going to be reasonably slow, this one. I've decided to putt it. Seems to be the safest option. I've hit a decent putt. I'm pleased with that. It's come up a fraction short, but should be a par. I'm just going to walk over and tap this one in. Absolutely dead straight. Happy with a par. The tee shot wasn't particularly good. This is probably the hardest hole on the back 9. It's a hole that's been lengthened over the years as well. The tee has gone in sort of 30-40 yards further back. 407 yard par 4. Dog legs to the left. Going to hit 2-iron into the bigger section. I'm not trying to cut any of the dog leg off. And I've hit a decent shot. I've pushed it a fraction, so it's going to hit the right side of the fairway. But that should give me a line to the green. So if you're playing this hole, make sure you find the right side of the fairway. This kicks in from right to left as well. I'm going to try and hit a little draw in here. Start at the right and draw it in. I've hit this a fraction thin, but thankfully it's landed just short of the green. It's got a big hop forward and run onto the green, which I find quite amusing. We're faced with a long birdie putt on the back of the green. The pin's on the front. This is all downhill. I'm braking from the right as you look up the camera. This is all about getting the pace right into the wind, which made it slightly easier, and I'm really pleased with that putt. According to the stats, you're more likely to 3-putt that than 2-putt it, so really pleased with par on probably the most difficult hole on the back 9. So the 17th hole, 385 yards, again tight. Trees on the right hand side, trees down the left. You cannot hit it left. If you go right, you might have a shot to the green, but it's important again to find the fairway. I've hit a good 2-iron down here, which has split the fairway in 2. From the middle of the fairway, we're slightly into the wind, and the wind has got stronger, and it's blown a little bit as well from left to right. Decided to hit 9-iron. Wind's got it now, and it's pushing it right. There's water over there on the right-hand side. I'm a little bit anxious again. Hopefully it's got the carry, but I don't know at this point whether it's actually got over, and it has. But it's left me with a restricted backswing and probably what I deserve. So I'm just going to try and nudge this forward and onto the green. If I get it close to the bonus, I really want to be playing my fourth shot with a putter in my hand. Played a decent shot here, and I thought it was actually going to end up better than it did. Pulled up quite short and left me a lengthy par putt. I've read this putt as left edge, maybe left lip, but definitely not outside the hole. These are the sort of putts that I'm trying to be a little bit more aggressive and get that ball actually rolling to the hole with a little bit of pace. This is one of the worst putts I've hit for a while, where I actually pulled it, missed it way left, but the pace was decent, so just tapping in now for a par. Disappointing par after finding the middle of the fairway. My iron play is not good at the moment. I need to improve it before the tournament starts. The 18th hole is a dog leg, which dog legs from right to left, and it's important here to get the ball out to the right to actually get it to the end of the dog leg to leave yourself an approach into the green. I'm hitting 2-iron here because I won't run out. You can hit driver, but you need to hit it left with a draw, which is not my shape. So I've hit a 2-iron, which is pretty good. It's drawing slightly. Could have even taken another sort of 20 or 30 yards off the dog leg. I actually hit 5 wood in the tournament here. So on just off the fairway on the right hand side, hitting 6-iron in here, guarded by 2 bunkers, one left and right. Just going to try and land it short of those bunkers and let it hop up. Slight fade, which is not my shape at the moment, but I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm telling it to go a little bit. Bounces on the front of the green and runs up past the hole. So I'm left with this downhill tricky putt for a birdie. Don't see a lot of break in it again. Almost just outside my right. Important to get the pace right. Hit a decent putt here. I've given it a good go, which is nice. It's touched the right edge and rolled sort of 5.5 foot past, leaving myself with an uphill par putt. I managed to have a good look at this putt as the ball was going past the hole, so I know it's going to break from my left. It's all uphill. I'm going to hit this left centre with a little bit of pace so it doesn't have time to break. A nice positive putt, and it goes in at 76. Not too displeased with that score, but a little bit disappointed after the front 9 and also that disaster on 12. I partnered Luke in the foursomes on Saturday. Unfortunately, the putter was a bit cold and we finished 10 over par for the round, but that did score us some points. The individuals was a little bit more successful. I finished tied 4th, which I was pleased with. Had a few chances to be a little bit better and just missed out on a prize. Churston ended up 4th out of 6 in the team event, and the competition next year, the Torbay Cup, is at Churston, where hopefully we will finish higher up the points table. And that is John Stockman, one of the captains, putting the pin back in.